Good morning, hello. And a happy Friday too. It's always nice to be Friday, although it's starting to get colder weather here, so I'm not doing my having to wear like actual clothes over my fun Friday shirts. But how are you all doing today? Hopefully pretty good. I am looking forward to jumping into a little bit more Axum today. So yesterday we sort of jumped ahead a little bit. Where's my mouse? Oh, there's my mouse. We jumped a little bit ahead and we started working on the very last problem here. When really we want to work on the first error that we have sort of displaying. Um, and that is going to be what this one. Right. It's now expecting that the password to be hashed and that hash to be a bcrypt hash and that it to be a valid and good hash. So we need to go find bcrypt hashing. Now there's a website, right, for bcrypt. So it's just bcrypt. Isn't there like a I don't think it's something like this. I don't think this maybe it was JSON. No, maybe I'm thinking about JOTs. I'm thinking about JOTs, I think. There was like a website for JOTs that would then tell you like here's a bunch of recommended libraries to use for whatever language you're using for that. Isitsu, hello. Head over to crates and take a look at what do we have for bcrypt. Okay, so we have just bcrypt. Decent numbers. Let's see if there's anything else that just sort of pops out at us. Don't need this for WASM. Also looking at the updated times. So over 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 5 months ago. That's pretty good. Usually use Argon 2 over bcrypt. Yeah, there's a bunch of these different ones that are possible to use. I think we just chose to go with bcrypt just because it was still recommended in the community when we built that, and it's like popular. Lots of people are using it. I think we're gonna use this so we remain consistent with our testing framework. So we'll add in bcrypt. It might be interesting to one day just go through and like try all of the different ones. Like do some research and find like what the security. Maybe go find somebody in security fields and just say like, hey, which ones do you recommend? Twisted Seed, hello. All right, so this is backend tests. I want a brand new one here. Learning Axum. Oh, yeah, this is good. The Rust crypto one should be pretty good. Is there bcrypt available in? No, it can't be in like the crypto library, right? The crypto crate. Go to the Argon 2 crate repo. Oh, really? Also, Steven Sagiball, hello. What time do I wake up? I am waking up at 6 a.m. in time to do a 7 a.m. stream. So I'm on Mountain Time. Okay, so can I do? Yeah, but this won't let me. Oh, go to the GitHub repo. And what am I looking for here? Oh, password hashes. Oh, here's bcrypt. Okay. Oh, I see. I see. I see. Aha. Okay, so we have bcrypt here. Create is this one. Okay. And that indeed goes to rest crypto. Okay. Yep, spelled the same way. All right, we could try this one. Um, all right, so there's that. Let's head back into here. We'll add you. Yeah, I like to wake up early before work, and because that's when I have my best focus time. Although if my work was that much earlier, at some point, just sleeping is better, and then I would just do afternoon stuff. But luckily, my work I begin at 8:30 a.m. Mountain Time, and so having that gives me like about 15 minutes if I end around 8:15 between then and work. And if I had to start work at like 8 o'clock or 7:30, then that would be a different story. I'd probably do my streams after work. Oh, come on, everything was going fine. Did my internet fail? This seems to be fine so far. um Stream is still like I'm still getting the stream information. Why did you suddenly stop? All right, let's try this again. All right, it got a little bit farther this time. You wish you used more Rust at work. Yeah, Rust at work could be a lot of fun. Um, the problems the problems from like a team lead perspective, the problems with Rust at work right now are um, accidentally creating a dream job factor of one. So uh, when I say dream job, I mean like, what if the one person who was like doing Rust got like their dream job, like something that they couldn't possibly turn down. I think vacation factor would be better. Maybe also use that instead. What if the vacation factor of one means that if one person goes on vacation and they know the Rust stuff, how screwed is everybody else? Uh, Teaching Rust right now, along with everything else, is really hard. Um, that we'd have to hire Rust people, and there are not enough people who know Rust right now who are also not really expensive from a startup's point of view. So therefore, most companies won't be able to do that. The big ones can because they can afford those developers and they can afford to teach them. Uh, Startups probably not yet. It's not stable yet. Rust is stable. Also, hello Yash. I mean, Rust is stable enough for a lot of different things. Now, a lot of the crates maybe aren't stable, but I don't think that a lot of the big companies are necessarily using a lot of those crates. I think they're doing like a lot of low level stuff. But then again, I haven't been there. I haven't like seen anybody. Just hearing what like the jobs are for, and all that fun stuff. No problem, no problem. And hello back again. All right, so we got this installed. I don't need this other features. So the idea here is in users before I um let's see, before I create the user. And so here we have this new user and we're setting this password. So at this point in time, this needs to be a hash right here. So I would imagine, what if I create like utilities and we do hash password s. So I want a pub function hash password. This will take in a password, which is a stir, and we want to return probably, I mean, I would think a string. I'm wondering if it's going to have to be a, let's start with string. Okay, so we want to do, let's see how far I can get before I have to like look up the instructions for how to do it. All right, so we have this bcrypt, okay, it's passphrase to process, salt value to use as a byte vector, rounds. So it looks like, okay, so as ref, so we take in the stirs as ref. Wonder if you want bcrypt after all. The bcrypt pbkdf seems to be doing something different. Yeah, this is, well, result, oh, look at that. Oh, the output is this final thing because it's mutable. So it's going to mutate. So I handed a string. The resulting derived key is returned in this byte vector. So it's going to do that to like an empty string, essentially. Well, the really cool thing is because I already have a validator on this, if it doesn't work, then like if it's not a valid bcrypt hash, then we'll find out really quickly. Now the salt, so I have to create a salt myself. Interesting. So the salts are stored inside of the bcrypt string that's returned. So I want this to be random every single time. Okay, so here we go. We're starting with this. So passphrase. This is going to be the password dot as ref. Output is going to be a new string. So that is going to be hash. You are going to be mute ref to hash. Will that work? Sort of. And then we're going to return hash. Okay, so you're not going to work here. Mismatch types, mutable reference to this string. So Have I explored TUI related stuff on stream? Not really. No, I've I've done some CLI stuff, but not TUI stuff. Um, One of the things I've been following I've been following some of the community projects, and I'm interested in when some of those are done, and hopefully we could see some of those be done relatively soon. I don't know when. Let's see. I don't know when Toggle Bits is going to be done, right? Because like Togglebit has been working on a TUI project for a while now, and it looks pretty interesting. Uh, and it looks like it's going to be really fast too, which I've heard a lot of TUIs are not fast. So that could be really nice. All right, so if I do hash dot as mute ref as mute pointer. No. Oh, that requires unsafe. I don't want to do unsafe. Uh, but of course that's unknown. So sometime. So I want to sometime. Don't know when. Don't have a schedule. Okay. So what if I do this in two places? So if I do mute hash dot as ref. Does this work? Oh yeah, that works. Okay, cool. So now it can update this hash. We return it. Salt. So I could manually set the salt, but this needs to be random. If I remember correctly of how salts work. Um, Perhaps I should validate that. Bcrypt salt. Here, bcrypt Wikipedia. So yeah, that's what I thought. The salt is embedded inside of the output hash, which means that this can be different. In fact, probably should be different every single time. The salt is typically a random value. Okay, so I want essentially rand or a crypto rand. I want something like a good rand to use as the salt. Does it say how long the 16 byte salt value? Okay, so 16 byte salt value. Is that 16 characters? I think that is, right? No, it's not. 16 would get me to here. Unless I'm just not unable to count today. Yeah. Uh okay, so now do you have something here for salts? No, you do not. And for you, okay, test. Let's salt, create a vector of U8. You're literally using the word salt. No salt. So this is not something I like super much. I would prefer if at least one of the tests was super realistic. Using the string salt is not random and is not good. It should be a random string. Let's go take a look at rand and see if we can get. Will rand give us? Yeah, fast and cryptographic, non-cryptographic generators. Okay, so I can use cryptographic generators. Sheet info does not cryptographic library. Well, okay, I'm not encrypting with this. I'm creating just a random string, but I want it to be like a little bit better random than maybe just random. But I don't know. This is one of the reasons why doing your own passwords is not recommended. Let's do a random, call this random.rs for utilities. Okay, so random string. All right, so I don't know if I need a length in here. Possibly. I think that's why bcrypt would be easier since it handles that. It looks to be using the rest crypto blowfish library, which that is the correct algorithm for bcrypt. So yeah, that you're probably right. It would probably be best for us to just pivot. Let's do that. Remove. Is it RM? It is. Okay. So we're gonna do just bcrypt. Interesting. So they have a JS. So they work with WASM. At least some kind of WASM. All right. So then I probably don't need this random. Let's go ahead and delete you. All right. So hash password. We're still in here. We're gonna do. I don't know if we need to do the same thing here. Let's find out. We're gonna say bcrypt. Interesting. Okay, bcrypt hash generates password hash using the cost given. The salt is generated randomly using the OS randomness. Okay. Looks like it just enables the JS feature and get random. They need for browse. Oh, cool. So we could use this for WASM for like front end hashing if you really want to, which would be interesting because then you could create like a hash validator in a front end, like a little hash validation website. Hash assault given a hash and a cost. Oh, generates a password given a hash and a cost. What? Generates a Okay. All right, well, let's do this one. So password is, okay, so it's our password of the string and then the cost. We should really use this in an environment variable. I want to look at what that .env that I have down there is. So Brooks builds. This is the uh full stack Rust to do course. Backend Rust learning Axum. Okay. Okay, it's nothing. This is nothing bad. All right, so let's also close this out of here. No. There you go. All right, so I want like hash rounds. Is that what it's called? Hash cost. And I normally go with like 12. I've heard people suggest 10. I've heard people suggest 8. What do you recommend? Wikipedia, what do you recommend? So you're putting in 12. I also remember somewhere in here there's a somewhere in here or somewhere there's a like a list of how expensive it is for different modern computers to beat the hashes, and um it goes up pretty fast. I don't really have that here. Let's stick with 12, which I think is going to be like a second or two, so that's going to be fun. So do hash cost equals 12. So then here I want to grab that. You return a bcrypt result with a string inside. Okay, so we're gonna change this around a little bit. All right, so bcrypt hash cost. So we need to get the cost out. Um, oh, right, we're using .env macro like that. And this is, what did we call it? Hash cost. Oh, really? You actually understand that it's a number? Well, that's cool. Okay, so you need to be a hash. You take in U32. Okay. Oh no, you're gonna come in as a string, and so never mind. If I did like costs like this, excuse me. Okay, so oh, you don't have a type? Oh, come on, you can tell me what type you are. .env. Uh, you don't give us a type back. I think you're gonna be a string, right? So this is gonna yell at me when it eventually happens and say like, "Hey, I thought you were U32, but you were really a stir, or you're a string, or something like that." And then we'll have to convert it over. But yeah, it doesn't know what type it is. Okay, so we'll deal with that when we get the compiler error for it. Uh, in the meantime, we get bcrypt hash. We pass in the password. We pass in the cost. This is a result. So let's match this. If we get okay, we get the hash, and we want to just return this. Now, if this fails, I want to crash hard immediately. So let's take in the error. We're going to do two things. We're going to print line and just say error error creating hash. Is that true that I want to crash here, or do I want to return some other message somewhere else? Maybe I want to handle this in the other thing. So hold on. In this case, I could probably just do this, and this becomes a bcrypt result with a string inside. There we go. Now you're yelling at me. Expected U32 found a stir. So this is a stir that comes out. I want this to be if it's a stir, so I need this to become a toOwned to make that a string. Okay, and then I want this to be a parse. You're not helping me here. How is it? Do you parse stirs, or do you do it for the other one? It's like U32. Oh, you know what I could do? Hold on. I keep on hoping that like my typing will help out. So let's do this. So you are a stir like that. So now will you help me? So I want to do cost dot. I don't think that into works for this. I can do parse. Okay. Now parse is going to give this result here. Now bcrypt result, as long as you return the right type of result. Where's my Tamil? I am not. Oh, I have error. Okay. So let's replace this with result from error. And then we can hash equals this question mark, and then we'll return okay hash u. Okay, const parse that. There we go. Now this makes this happier. Don't need this result anymore. We can now hash the password inside of here. So that hash equals hash password. Take in a reference to the password that is going to be the request user password. Now, this is where this also gets a little bit interesting because we're going to respond with this JSON user response. I need to respond with a like potentially a 500 in case this fails. So let's match. Okay, so if you're okay, we get the hash and we return the hash. And if we're in error, we get one of the two different error types. Well, I guess it's been turned into that error, but yeah. Okay, so we get the error, and how do I in Axum return a 500? I'm doing a returns a JSON user response. Do I need to return like a response? So return error handling. Okay, so how do I do a like 500 error? Oh, interesting. So handle anyhow error, you return a tuple with status code and with then whatever. Wait, is this the what's is the handler? You generally don't have to think about errors if you're only using async functions as handlers. However, if you're embedding general services or applying middleware, which might produce errors, you have to tell Axum how to convert those errors into responses. Wait, so if I panic, so just out of curiosity here, if I panic, so let's try just throwing a panic in here, testing. This is under create user. Here's our create user. I want to create panic. Okay, yeah, you're still running. Forcibly closed by peer. I did not get a 500 error. So no, that okay. Well, I guess it. Both first dad. Hello. Okay, so we have app. This is still layers. This is the Axum documentation. So here's this handle error. But interesting. Okay, so basically we can't do this thing if I okay, so if I do um if I do an error result, what happens? Where is my code? You. So let's imagine that I do a result like this. Come on. Now I don't want to panic. I want to at this point in time just return oh no, I'll bail and just say testing here. Is that going to give me a 500 error? You would need to be in okay. Still getting. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so you're. We need to handle you. So create handle. Oh, because you don't expect an error. Future output. The straight handler is implemented. I wonder if it needs to be a real result and not what where they were showing like anyhow could work. So maybe we could use anyhow instead of error. I mean, because you're also showing okay, so when I come back into here, this is like JSON as a response. I would also want like a response code. Um, can I do oh I guess like what responses? See, this is what I was doing. So sending that back. What if I want a custom status code? Why it's like I'm not finding it easily, which I'm kind of like confused about. Which is if I want to do a response, I want to do a response with just a custom because JSON is fine, right? Like I'm okay with responding with JSON because I can have a special JSON response here, but I want this not to be a 200. I want it to be like a 500. Uh, how do I set the custom response time? So I will do Axum return. I want JSON and a code. Can I set the code with the JSON object here? So like down here we have JSON. So okay. So we can't do the results. Let's rip that out really quickly. Okay, so back to you. Can't use this bail. That's fine. Get rid of you. Okay, so JSON. Can I also set when user responds, it can serialize any data type and will automatically set content type, header. Yeah, but that's okay. So that's not really showing me setting, because I would love to set it just to be 500, and then I can use a error response. Like I can create a custom error response struct for this. But that doesn't seem to be working the way I would expect. Can I like? Is there two things? Like I don't think I could just do that, right? Yeah, it takes one argument. Um, and I can't do to serialize, try into. So I get the data. Yes, then I can't do anything with that. That's not really helping me. Okay. Let's do that. Result equals. What? No, don't do that. Okay, now can I do? I don't have, okay, yeah, so same thing. I don't really have anything here. So user response gives me that. Data gives me data dot. Interesting, it gives me the user just straight into it. ID token username. That's not what I want. Well, that's too bad. Okay. So, okay. Axum response 500. Let's try that. I don't think this is gonna help. Yeah, this is the same thing. So, uh, error handling. So we have examples here too. Let's see. Let's go see if we can find examples for this. There's the anyhow error response. Maybe that's just what we do, and we use anyhow. Error handling. All right. Well, let's try this. Okay. So here's my handler. It's a result, which is a real result. Okay. So that takes in nothing. That returns no. Oh, because it's just an empty thing. And then an app error. And app error comes from what? An app error is a tuple that, okay. Make your own error that wraps anyhow error. Interesting. Then you create into response for app error. Then they can bail on that. Oh, weird. Okay. So I'm not seeing any real difference like where they're using anyhow that I couldn't just use error for. Because I could just use the error here. All right, well let's try working on this. Okay, so in our utilities, let's create an error. Okay, so first we have app error. App error is a wrapper around another error. So pub, is that a struct? That's a tuple struct, right? Yeah. Struct. I guess we'll just call this app error. And this takes in an error from what is it called? It's error. Okay, then we need to impl into response for app error. Okay. So then we're going to return a tuple that has a status code and then a string or JSON or whatever we feel like. Okay. So this could be I think this could be a string. Okay, so we're going to start with, you're going to return a tuple. And the first thing is going to be the status code. So status code, sure, internal server error. Why not? Although it could be, we could have like a couple other ones. It could be a 400 too. I would probably need to like somehow store that to know which one we're going to use. And then the last one is going to be a format. Yeah, which is just a string. So then I want to use debug mode with, and then you're just, yeah, self.0. Self.0. You then do into response like that. Okay. We come back to, okay, you're happy here. I want to go back to users. Now, your response, okay, so we're going to do a normal result. So not that result. We do a normal result, JSON user response, and then this is going to be an app error like that. Send year and okay. Yes, I know. And let's say if I did want to bail at this point, I could do that right here. So we could just say bail testing. And I still have. Oh, wait, no, I can't do bail here. No, I can do a return error. And then this is going to have to be a app error. I want. Well, can I use the error macro? Cannot initialize a tuple struct which contains private fields. Constructor is not visible here due to private fields. Do you need to be... Do you need to be public like that? Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. You recompiled. Hey, and now I get a 500 internal server error along with my error. Oh, I get a stack and my error message. Okay. Cool. And so if I don't error out, so if I don't do this thing, then I should still get a 200 okay. With, of course, the password not being what we want it to be. Okay. So this is working. So at this point in time, we can now safely handle this error. So if we get this error, we want to return an error. This is going to be an app error. An app error, and then this would be an error. Error with, oh, I guess like in this case, we just pass in an error like that. Okay, then I put in per password. We set this to be the hash. And now we're good. This unwrap, we could start handling these and then returning errors in the case that they actually fail, which could be really nice. I might want to put these into like utilities functions too, for like creating a default task or do something else elsewhere. In Outworld, hello. And yes, I actually, for the first time in a long time, I actually have Nightbot set up to respond with the correct thing. Okay, so back to here. Let's npm test, and are we going to get a passing test finally? Maybe. Or are you just going to freeze? Why are you freezing? What's happening? Oh, look at this. Error return from database. Duplicate key value thread. Oh yeah, duplicate key value. Okay, so I'm attempting to insert two things. Two wrong things, huh? Yeah, I don't have, the new course hasn't been created yet. So the only previous course that I have is this introduction to U1. when I have another one, then we'll have to think about new commands for that. Oh, but here we go. Okay, so I ran that. We did sign up. Expected it not to be the password. Okay, what failed here? Error return from database. Duplicate key value violates unique constraint. Username's key. Username key. Am I working full time with Rust? No. The only time I've been really working with Rust is during the stream. My day job, I'm doing very much web dev, like normal traditional web dev stuff. So a lot of we're using Vue.js, we're using JavaScript, HTML, CSS, all the good stuff. All the like the plain vanilla web dev stuff. Okay, so this is probably me. I kind of want to just reset my database. So let's turn you off. All right, let's do Docker compose down. Docker volume. Probably have to wait long enough for actually to create the database. Probably should have told it to wait until it's done. But then we'll do a cargo watch with this. Is this course only for static web pages or with some backend and Rust? So the first course that I did, the one that links to from that course command, that's for a front end for a to-do applications. That's u.rs. It's basically a replacement for JavaScript, just JavaScript on the front end. So you're going to write Rust that compiles to WASM and then creates like the front end for a web app, for a to-do application. This one that I'm preparing for, sort of like learning Axum, is going to be for a backend. So creating a backend for the to-do application. It connects to a database. It does all the things. It handles rudimentary authentication, all the fun stuff. Let's see. How about you now? That was maybe long enough. Duplicate key value. Violates unique constraint. Users username key. Source routes users to RS45. I mean, yeah, okay. So when I insert you, your username is exactly the same as what I had previously. Hey, but sign up worked. So sign up worked. Oh, but look at this. It attempts. So I actually purposefully attempt to create multiple users with the same username. That's failing because can I read properties of undefined? Okay, so we expect to now get a 400 error code because we attempted to send this out with a different response. So that's like literally the problem that we have here. No, not here. with here is that how do I know which of these to use? I kind of think that I want to update my app error to hold the error and then do the type, I guess. So what if I do this? So pubstruct error, you're going to have the code, status code, which is going to be a status code. And then we'll have the error, which is a error. And then we'll import app error hub function new. Have I tried Vim or NeoVim for development? I have. I've done Vim for development a while back. It's been a long time, and I never really got too heavy into the plugins. I want to try again. I think that would be. I think that would be fun. Are there any cool science tech events that happen in Denver? You know, a lot of the meetups have sort of slowed down, especially during the pandemic. I had I was running a Node.js meetup that sort of I ended up closing that one. I was running the Rust meetup, and then I just haven't found speakers. Slash, it's been I've been energy wise, it's been too difficult for me to like continue running that. So I've let that sort of drop down, and I'm probably gonna end up closing that one off too. There's not very many left anymore. Um, I would say the coolest event that I know of is the Develop Happy Hour in Denver. That's what I would recommend. And then you can find all that out through the Denver Devs Discord, which is a pretty large sort of group of developers and developer adjacent, so designers, recruiters, all the fun people. Okay, so if we take in a status code, which is a status code, and then we'll take in an error, which is an error like that. We will return a self. Okay, so do self status code error. And then here, okay, so status code is going to be self.status code, and then you are going to be self.error. Into response for that. Okay, so that should be happy. Then you. Okay, return error, app error, new. Okay, so status code. Import you. Okay, so this one, if you failed, this is going to be a internal service error. And then the error. So that's fine. If okay, here default task. Okay, so if you fail, so match. What? Oh, no unwrap. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna get the new user, return that. If we get this as an error back, that's a DB error. So this is gonna be a little bit different. We're going to return error, app error new. Okay, so status code. So I guess also this highly depends upon what this is going to depend upon what the error is. So let's match the error. So custom type. Okay, so that's not exactly helpful. What were you? Okay, so it's a query. Error term from database duplicate key. Could you not import from DB error? Well, what I want it to do is I want it to be, okay, so if it's a query error, I want to get what this error is here, which is an error string. Everything else is going to be an underscore. So, okay, so if it's anything that's not a query error, I want this to be a 500. And then if it's a query, I want it to be a 400. So you are, and then I want this to be the code, right? So let code equals, so you are going to be status code user error, client error. I think it's bad request. I don't remember anymore what technically the words are for that one. Okay, so we do that. Now if it's you, I don't. Okay, so you're a string. Bad request 400. Okay. Oh, I want this to be bad request up here. I want you to be bad request, and then your internal server error. Okay, so then I get my status code here, and then I want to return an error with a app error. New. We have code, and then the error is going to be that error. That's can I do error and then pass in the error here? Can you handle that? No, you cannot handle this. Use a partially moved error. Right. Okay. So I want. Error. Wait, so this error is here because this error got matched error. I'll just clone you. Okay. This one we're not really caring about. Okay, no errors here. So then we shouldn't get. Yeah, if in doubt, clone. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's try this. We should now get a 400 here, which means that this should no longer be our error point. Also, this should no longer display those errors for us because we're handling them and returning them to the front end. All right. Username already taken. Try again with your different username. And received undefined. Okay, so we got. So expect error response status to be expect error response data error. Oh, it wants a custom. It wants a custom error object because of course I made that in there so I'd have be forced to like handle this. So um you are gonna be okay. So your response data and then error inside of that, which okay, that's not still not that bad of a thing. So really what this means is for this response here, you need to be JSON, not a string, and we need to have an error response. So we'll have a struct error response that just has data and then the error inside of it. And I think I don't know if I actually care about that, but you're gonna have to derive, serialize, deserialize. We'll also have a struct uh, error. Don't want to call it that. This is gonna be error data maybe. And then you have I believe, what is it? Message. No, you have an error. Okay. So you have error, which you are a string. Okay, so then you are an error data. You also derive this. And then we're going to say, okay, so instead of format like this, I want you to be a JSON and then you're going to be error response data uh Kuruksar. Sorry about mispronouncing your username, but hello. Okay, then error data error. So finally now you get to be that format. And this is still probably going to be wrong, but because it's going to be the wrong message technically. And so then I want you to be the self.error. Okay, so you're happy still. Okay, so let's try this again. Wait for a little bit of time, and it should come back and maybe tell us. Still only one passed, so it's still received undefined. Still received undefined. Username already taken. Try again with a different username is what I want to see. Okay, so I got error response data error. Okay, so let's see if I can cause this myself. So back to here, if I do username, same user, name. So if I do that once, everything's fine. And then if I do that a second time, I get a 400 bad request. I get data error. Also, oh, I can't see. Okay, so I get data error, error query, error. Okay, so the error response status to be 400 was fine. Error response data error. Do I need to deserialize the JSON? I wonder if I do, but the other app was working this way. So I wonder if it's not sending the headers correctly to know that it's exactly what it is. Because here it's receiving undefined here, which means so data exists. Data exists, but error isn't what I expect it to be. So hold on, just in case. Well, let's try this. If I do something like that, although that I should have gotten this, shouldn't have I? So yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about that. I'm Yeah, I'm wondering what the headers I'm putting back. Am I putting like content type JSON, application JSON? Is that being set in the back end? Because it's possible it's maybe Axum is putting the wrong thing. It's gonna be the same error, isn't it? It is. Okay. So let's see if I can. Hold on. Let me. Uh, oh, I could do this here. Let's open up a new code here. Here's my backend tests. Here's my APA tests. So specifically sign up. Cannot create multiple users with the same username. This is line. Postman should show the headers, but I'm not using Postman, and this I don't know how to see the headers, which is unfortunate. I would imagine that I could see them here, but maybe they don't show. I could also curl. I'm just thinking about, okay, so this is what line? This is 54. So right here. So let's try console log. Can I console log and have it like print out? Let's find out. I want error dot response headers. No, 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 no. There. Oh, look at that. Application JSON. Okay, so it is application JSON. Okay, so error response. Let's just print out that entire response object. So there's my headers. There's the data that I put in there. Oh. No, it was data. So in here, I don't actually need this data here. I'm just doing a error data. Just want you to be an error response. Like that. Instead of error response data, we just go straight to this. Because now I have data error, and then the error has the error in it. Now we still have the problem of the error text is wrong. The error string itself is wrong, and we need to update that, sort of catch the specific one and sort of like change it to be what we want. But I believe that at least we're getting closer. So here, yep, here we go. It actually finds the appropriate error message, and it's like, hey, it's supposed to be username already taken. Try again with your different username. But instead, we get this error, query error return from database, duplicate key violates unique constraint, that. So we need to now change this to match the error that we're expecting. So that is what we're going to have to work on next time. Let's go ahead and note that down here. So we are hashing the password. So next up is we want to return the correct error message for duplicate username. And before I forget, let's remove this console log. And I'll go ahead and close you, and you are all okay. Let's close you all out too. And what do we got in here? So we added you with bcrypt. That's fine. Okay, so we are created users onto handling duplicate usernames. And that goes on up. I'm in a CORM branch, which I don't want to be there anymore. So I might want to merge that in with my other one because I was playing with Axum. Although this doesn't really matter in the end because I'm going to remove it all. I'm going to remove playing with Axum. I'm going to remove CRM. Yeah, I don't really care about this. We're gonna do it again in the end. I just am using this to sort of like for learning purposes. All right. So that being said, you're all good here. You're pushed up. Everything's happy there. Great. I think everything is taken care of. So today is Friday, which means it's a weekend coming up. So a little bit of a schedule change. I have some things I have to take care of on the weekends, and I just don't have enough time to do my Sunday stream and do all those things too. So I'm going to be, for the foreseeable future, not streaming on Sundays. So my next stream is scheduled for Monday morning at 7 a.m. Mountain Time, where we'll be continuing with this project. So anyways, have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. And bye.